Ladies and gentlemen, from an economic recession, through to global warming, through to extreme child poverty, I don't need to tell you about the problems in the world that we face today, nor do I need to tell you, where to place blame. I could even just accept where we are today. But I'll tell you what, as a student, whilst at university, I didn't accept where we are. I thought, we need to change things. And I'm not the only person who had that idea as a student. University is very much a breeding ground for revolution. We've seen in the past social uprisings, people who challenge society's conventions, people who rebel against their peers, against their forefounders. What we're seeing today isn't just university students who, might embody the decline in British work ethic, but students who are embracing the problems in the world and are creating incredibly collaborative solutions to global economic, environmental and social problems. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. So, why is there this student uprising? Why is there a struggle for social change? Why are students going out and doing incredible things in the world? Well, let me explain what the average student is going through at the moment. There is an incredibly tough situation for them facing graduation. There's about 70 applicants per place for a graduate job. The degree now means a lot less than it did many years ago. It's incredibly difficult to stand out from the crowd and get that job that you want, that you feel you deserve after hard work in your degree. So my first cause is the saturated graduate job market. The second kind of issue I've identified, and this is incredibly paradoxical, big businesses aren't filling all their graduate spaces. I've just told you how many students there are, but they're not filling their spaces. This is because students are graduating without the necessary skills to get that first-time job. They don't have that business awareness, the commercial awareness. They lack certain interpersonal skills to do their job properly. They do not stand out from the crowd. So my second problem is a lack of business skills from graduating students. Coming at it from a different angle, and we focused on this a bit today, social media, global connectivity. The world is connected in a way in which it never has been before. Students today are incredibly aware of the problems that are being faced by everyone. The average 8 to 18-year-old spends 7.5 hours per day on the internet, computer, television, incredible access to information. So global awareness is my third issue here. What does this lead students towards? It's very easy to think it actually leads to volunteering. It's a great opportunity to go out into the world, do something good. But I'll tell you, most people do volunteering because they just want to do something good. These three factors actually lead to a slightly different type of student. Not the volunteering student, but a student focused on social enterprise. A student that takes and applies business concepts to real-world problems. And that's what I love. So, the UK government defines social enterprise as a business with primarily social objectives whose surpluses are then principally reinvested back into that purpose. So how are students actually going out and investing in human potential? How are they reaching out to the global community and touching people's lives? How are they doing this? First and foremost, they are identifying a need, a problem, very specifically. They're working down from the big problems that we face today. Be it something like disenfranchisement from the youth of today, the gang crime, riots, these things are all indicators. What does that mean? Let's look at the local community, identify problem schools, problem areas, work with individuals, identify their problems. And once you can figure that out, you can use your skills as a student that you do have to inspire them, to transfer the skill set that they need to change their own lives. You're not volunteering to help someone and just give up your time and walk away. You're working with them to create a sustainable solution to their problem. That's when you get to empowerment. And this really is the focus of investing in human potential, in being able to change people's lives, people who are in need. Identify the problem, figure out what skills they need to learn, show them why they need to learn it, create an environment in which they can thrive, and empower them, get them doing it themselves. So let me give you a couple of examples. What is it that these students are specifically doing in the world? I've had the pleasure of working with incredible students that have worked with children who have come from gang crime and substance abuse. And they've turned around their lives because they've helped them realise what they can do They've helped them get the skills to get a first-time job, the inspiration to do so, and then the ability to stay in that job. That's that empowerment. Not going there and providing an opportunity for someone and saying, hey, good luck with that, and walking away. It's actually helping someone realise what they can do in the world and helping them achieve it. I've seen university teams of students form and then take their skills and then take it to other schools in the local community and revolutionise their teaching concepts in order to better improve the education within community colleges, working with children who are seen as hopeless cases. These students don't take no for an answer. They find a problem. They don't get overwhelmed by it. They're not constricted by the shackles of being told no. That's too difficult. It's incredibly inspiring. Projects abroad whereby instead of taking the old Chinese proverb if you feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him to fish, you feed him for a lifetime, I've seen students go one step further and teach an entire community how to build a fish farm and maintain that fish farm. That's incredible. And this is all student innovation. This is happening on campus and throughout the world. Tackling environmental issues in Lesotho in Nigeria, revolutionising entire communities. Incredible concepts. So that's what the students are doing. I'm going to give you a really specific example now, and this is one that's very close to my heart. As I was involved within this process, in my role working with students and being able to teach them, train them and inspire them, this is a project that was identified by a girl that went out on her gap year, worked in a charity, and got to know a problem in Manila in the Philippines. That is, women on the dump site are earning just 40 pence a day scavenging. And that was the basis of this project that I'm now going to show you.
My name is Alma. They teach me how to
Make
this bead. Then I teach 20 people, families in our neighborhood. I teach them how to make paper beads like this. I make their payroll.
Mahirapan kami dahil dyan namin kinuha yung pangsain namin. Kung nawala yan, mahirapan siguro. Imbis na 3 beses na kami kumain, mga isa. Pag nagkaroon ng puhunan, ako na mismo ang gagawa ng sarili kong jewelry. Mabibenta ko na siya. Mas malaking tulong sa akin. Mas malaking tulong sa akin yan.
Dahil malaking bagay ang livelihood ng PCM para sa akin. Yun lang. Salamat.
And that is the kind of thing that happens when students take their imagination, their innovation, to incredibly difficult problems throughout the world. What you see there is what I'd like to call a social investment chain. We move from students who are learning fantastic new skills and applying it to a local community, or community out in Manila, whereby they're taking a natural resource and turning it into a product which they can sell, and it be an incredible product. They are teaching the beneficiaries of their projects the very specific skills and inspiring them to run their own business, something they would never have thought possible had it not been for these students. They are investing in their human potential. One of my favourite moments in that video is when Alma turns around and says, you know, the students taught me how to make these beads, and now I teach 20 people. So she's investing in the wider community. What we're seeing is students taking their knowledge, transferring it to a small group who can then take that out to a wider group. That's a phenomenal investment chain. And to add to that, the students are investing in themselves. That's where it begins. By learning new skills themselves, they're pushing themselves. They're getting those skills that are necessary to get that first-time job, whilst being able to have an incredibly phenomenal social impact in the world. But now I'm going to flip this presentation on its head. What happens when you're not investing in human potential? There's a lovely quote from Albert Einstein: everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid. While I was in my last year of university even, doing philosophy at King's College London, I jumped in a cab in London to go visit some other students, and I was engaged in a bit of taxi banter with the driver, and he said, what do you do? And I was very honest. I said, I'm a philosophy student at King's College London. And he said, oh, wow, I went to LSE. I did a master's in political science. As a final year student, that really struck me, and I kind of asked, okay, so how did you end up where you are? What happened? And he said very honestly that I got my girlfriend pregnant, and that was a shock, and I was very happy. But I had to go out and get a job. I had to support her. That was my fundamental goal, and I did that. But there was no one there to support me, and I guess I just haven't changed. I've stayed where I am for the last 30 years. And that really resonated with me. That really struck me. Because if you don't have people investing in you and telling you, yeah, well done, you got that first-time job, you supported your girlfriend, but what are you going to do next? Then you're wasting that potential. What is the point of doing that degree? What is the point of your potential if you can't actualize it? You need people to invest in you. So, I've talked about it from a student perspective. Let's move on to big businesses. How are they dealing with investing in people? You'll be very aware that many businesses do CSR days, corporate social responsibility. They will get people within their business to go out and spend a day in the local community. That might be doing something like painting a fence, building a community centre. If you bear with me, I've got very poor mental arithmetic, but let's say we take a pretty big business and we say the average salary is 30 grand. 260 working days, we're on about £115 for that day, times it by 5 for what they should be bringing in terms of business. We're looking at about £570. Let's say there's a department of 20. Let's bump up those numbers. That is £11,500 for one day painting a fence. That's bad maths by anyone's standards. You could take that money, invest in a local painter, pay him 5 times what he's worth, and you're investing money back into the community, and that business will still make more profit. There's a better way of doing CSR in big business. Going back to my why, with these problems that the students are facing, if you start connecting employees within big business and these students with this incredible passion, you're going to help them get into that first-time job because you're connecting them with potential employers. You might be connecting them with employers all over the world, but the focus is the lack of skills. If you're getting people in industry with very specific operational HR finance skills working with 18, 21-year-olds, you're going to have a huge impact on their learning curve. They're going to be investing in the students so that their projects can be even better. You're getting a synergy between students on one side, the future leaders, and today's leaders. And that's an incredible learning experience for the students. So we're increasing our social investment chain here. We're now beginning with business leaders, business people, willing to take that time to invest in the students. This is going to have a wider, stronger impact on the projects that the students are going to run. It's going to change more lives. And on top of that, the business people, they're getting challenged by those students because they're investing in themselves. It's not easy to be a coach, to be a mentor, to sit in front of an 18-year-old student who says, yeah, I'm writing my first business plan, this is what I've got so far, how do I improve it? As a 30, 40-year-old in business, you might not have actually written your own business plan. That's a bit of a challenge. So employees or employers are actually specifically being able to invest in their own employees if they engage them in sustainable social enterprise. Increasing our social investment chain from business people through to the students, the beneficiaries, and then that wider community. That's what I call developing human potential. That's what I call solving global needs. That's having a real impact. So, I implore you, no matter what you do in your life, take a little bit of time to realize what your skill set is, and then take a little bit more time to invest that into someone that doesn't have those skills, Take time out to have an impact on someone who needs it. And if it can be a student that's going to go off and run projects and have that impact on other people who really fundamentally need it, then you can sit back and think, I'm having a genuinely sustainable impact in the community. That's fantastic. So with that, if you so indulge me, and the rest of the student population, using this social investment chain, we can change the world one person at a time. Thank you very much. So at this point, I'd like to welcome up onto stage the next speaker, who is a good friend of mine, someone that I've worked with in terms of him being a student and being able to hopefully inspire him. But realistically, what he has done off his own back. And he has done some incredible work. And with that, I would like to leave that in his hands to tell you a little bit about it and the possibility of changing the world.